to a very special broadcast. My name's Nikos, and I'm here with Dick. Hello, Dick.
Hi. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for me being here.
Yeah.
It's quite obvious.
English isn't your first language, so
No,
we'll
no.
forgive that.
Yeah.
So we've been at the Hellstorm Wargaming event today
Yeah, it was pretty good.
and over the weekend.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. What about you? How about
so
you?
we've come on to just to review that. But first, obviously, you are a special guest today. So do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Wow.
You don't have to, but
What's to say? I've been playing Warhammer since I was 11 years old, I think. Ever since the first time I went to England and I really fell in love with orcs. Then, of course, I never got an orc army ever in my life. But I've been smashing it with Necrons in the past couple of years. Like everybody probably did during high school and university days, you kind of fell out, stopped playing Warhammer. But they had that secret box filled with toys in my attic all along.
hidden away,
Nobody could see it.
so none of your cool friends could see it.
Exactly. And so recently I had a coming out, and now
Okay. Did you have like a party to come out, or like?
no, it's actually quite a good story. And
Okay,
I'm gonna share it to
All right.
all of you.
I've just realised I forgot to start recording. So
That's fine, just start now.
start recording.
Yeah, perfect.
Hello, welcome to honest-wargamer. I'm here with Dick. We're talking about Hellstorm Wargaming, and we're about to hear how Dick came out as a Warhammer player.
This is fun. This is going to be great for all of the internet to see. But when was it? I think it was like almost a year ago. I was playing Warhammer at a local GW in Amsterdam. And I didn't realize, but all my friends, they were having dinner. I realized they were having dinner, and I was like, I'm not coming because I've got other things to do.
Mysterious
Yeah.
other things to do.
Like better things. Well, okay. It turns out they were having dinner at the restaurant across the street from the GW. So I was playing my game, rolling dice, being very, very loud and present. And it was, all of a sudden, there was someone on the window like, Dick, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing here? And then 2 minutes later, there were 3 people outside of the window,
Or watching your game.
all watching my game.
So that was the first time you live streamed a game.
It was the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. So just say hello to Fulgrima, Slanish, and Rograts, who's just subscribed 20 months in a row.
Wow.
Well, he
What a
should.
hero.
He was meant to be talking all weekend, wasn't he?
He was
Yeah.
meant to be talking all weekend Warhammer, but sadly we had some technical difficulties, so
mean
we weren't
he
able
didn't come?
to. We weren't able to stream the event, sadly. So what happened then? So all your friends know you play Warhammer, and you're like loud and proud.
Well, I mean, yeah. Now when I leave, like for this weekend to go to the UK or some other place to game the entire weekend, I'm like, okay, I'm off gaming.
You're not on some mysterious
No, work trip.
away.
No, but it's
You
actually kind of
you
fun.
could have said to your friends, "Oh, I'm having an affair with somebody,"
It would have been
and
way
then they
cooler,
wouldn't say
yeah.
anything.
No.
They would know not to say anything.
I know. It's also, I don't know about you, but for my girlfriend, it's always kind of awkward to say what I do. Is it the same for you? Is it
What to other people? Or
Yeah, to other people.
Uh,
Like, you can come over for drinks. Why don't you bring Dick? It will be fun. She's like, yeah, Dick is out with friends.
he's like going boxing, something cool,
Yeah.
or like
He's climbing mountains. He's jumping out of airplanes. Yeah, well, so yeah, that's the story how it came out to my friends. Yeah.
Right. So this weekend was Hellstorm Wargaming's. I think it's their 3rd event. So it's
Yep.
an ITC event.
Hellstorm with a Vengeance, it was called.
With a vengeance. So 1750 ITC sort of mission pack, and then it was a mono codex event. So as a long-term Necron player, this is basically just a normal event for you, right?
It would be, except that my codex should do better at a single faction event.
Okay.
So being the classic overachiever and narcissist that I am, I thought that I had the chops to bring home the gold this time around.
Yeah.
Spoilers alert.
So you
It did not happen.
did not win it. So you
did not win.
Yeah. So you felt pretty confident with your single codex because you're used to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was the only one, well, one of the 3 Necron players. We were the only guys who weren't really handicapped. Well, and Tau probably. but they're just
Some
handicapped.
so yeah
because
some
they
yeah some would
exist.
argue town players are handicapped anyway.
I've got a Tau army somewhere in in a box.
I have one time one.
Yeah. Rob keeps saying things, forgetting he's not mic'd up.
Yeah,
Unless you guys can probably hear him anyway from over there with his loud voice.
because of these cool new microphones, right?
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah.
good.
So I took orcs.
And do you know your list by heart? Should we just?
I pretty much know my list by heart. So I took orcs. It was the first time I'd taken my orcs to an event. I was planning to take them to one of the Games Workshop heats, but I backed out because I didn't think my combat orcs would do particularly well.
You want to tell the story why you backed out?
Yeah, so so that was I think it was the GT final, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
The last one, and Dick was over for that, and we had a practice game on a Friday night. And two practice games that were. So we had about 2 practice games in about an hour and a half because I just got absolutely screwed over and just wiped off the table within 2 turns, both games.
That's what Tesla does to orcs.
Yeah, so I thought everyone's
boys.
preparing for anti-horde stuff, and I was just bringing a horde. So I was like,
You're stepping completely into the meta, not countering it anyway.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, everybody's preparing for me, but I can take this. So
yeah. So I've been building my Dakar jets. So I just wanted to take my Dakar jets. So I built scratch built like stealth bomber style Dakar jets. So yeah, I just wanted to take them. So they were in the list, and then everything else was like, what else can I fit in?
with orcs it was quite a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I had my 3 Dakar jets, 90 boys plus another 10. Then I had a war boss, custom force field guy, weird boy, and a pain boy. But then I had 2 units of 5 commandos and a death copter who were there basically to help score recon. And then I had the souped up shock attack gun, 10 grots, and 3 smasher guns. So not the 18 that most people are taking.
Well, or the crystals that one person is taking. But perhaps it's important to say that it was a comp event, so you can only take a single battalion.
Yes.
Or a brigade, and then other detachment.
Yeah, and
so
that was
an army like orcs was was heavily affected by that.
Yeah, because a lot of the good stuff that you want to do with the orcs is quite CP hungry, like fighting twice is 3, and recycling your boys with a green tide is 3. So that's 6 already, and I started with 9.
Gone.
Yeah, and I started with 9. So if I did 2 of those things, I've got 3 left, and I pretty much always want to teleport 30 boys. So then I'm down to deep strike them. So I'm down to 7 straight away. So that was something that I struggled with, having only 1 battalion, because usually you'd take 2.
Yeah.
A cheap one and the one with the boys. Yeah. So what was in your list?
For me, it was kind of the opposite because it's a long story, but my necros are always in involvement, like basically everybody's army is. But I've come down to I either want 2 full battalions with all the CP in the world, which for necros is like 12, so. Or just go the other route and take no battalion at all. Just go, take only the good units and accept that you only have 6 CP, whatever. But with this event, I couldn't do either of them. So I decided to basically take my tried and tested 2K list. Done pretty well for me over a couple of tournaments, like last year. Come close to winning a few. But then basically there's 250 points cut out. So what I took was Imatech the Stormlord. It was all a Soltec battalion and a Soltec air wing. So Imatech, I had a Cryptech who flew, and I had the Veil of Darkness relic. 1 unit of 10 Tesla Immortals, another unit of 10 Tesla Immortals, and 7 Tesla Immortals. It's only 3 less than we normally take, but as people might know, Tesla is the shit.
Tesla is pretty good.
Yep. Took 2 small units of Scarabs.
And Tesla's particularly good with the Sautech dynasty which you had, because you've got that access to that stratagem with additional +1.
Yeah, so if you get all the buffs off right, you can get a Tesla going off on 4s, which meant that on every 4, you're hitting on 2s, and every 4 up gives you 3 extra hits. So that meant that my tiny units of 10 Tesla Immortals usually did about, like on average, 13 wounds to a knight, like before armor saves. That's pretty good, considering they're winning on 5s.
Just saying a quick hello to Diadrin. Hello. He's done the jet emoji in the chat.
You're
Jab.
crushing it. You guys are crushing it. Keep going.
All right. So coming back to the armor list, I had 2 small units of scarabs. They're basically for being engineers or getting me recon or blocking off knights or whatever. They're the most underrated and probably the best units in my entire army.
The scarabs.
Yeah, scarabs.
The best.
Yeah, I love me some scarabs.
Yeah.
Particularly if they're deep fried. They're pretty good. Took 5 destroyers, sadly not 6 because 1750. And 2 Doomsday Arcs. Well, Doomsday Arcs are pretty good because they're pretty hard to kill. I think only 2 were killed in the entire tournament. So, in total. And then I had 3 flyers. And the Necron flyers are pretty good because they have a 1-point stratagem to do 3d3 mortal wounds in an area on the battle mat, which is like 6 inches across. So, if you have an enemy which clumps up his army, like in the first turn, which like a Tau player would do, or an Imperial Guard player does.
And it's exactly how I like to play with the Orcs, with the Pain Boy buffs, your custom force field and all
That's
that
exactly
kind of
how I'd like to deploy. I've played my mirror match once, and it was not a pretty sight. I can tell you that.
stuff. No, it really forces your opponent just by having that as a threat
Yeah,
to deploy differently how their game plan is.
and it's also
Like-
it's like a stress test for me to see how good my opponent is, because well, depending on their army, of course, but like a knight player doesn't really care about the free up the 3d3 mortal wounds. But if the opponent really adapts his deployment because he knows that the strategy is there and still makes something workable, then you know that you've got a good opponent. So, yeah.
Okay,
So what's the
so just say another hello to Reflex Dog Training Painting. It's a very long name. Okay, so we went into round 1. So they did the draw on the Wednesday night, so we had a few days to sort of scheme. I was a bit upset with my first round draw just because it was a pretty horrible matchup, I felt. So
Yeah.
I had
I
Necrons.
felt it wasn't, but
Oh, well, we'll see. So I basically had a Necron list that was similar to yours, apart from it didn't have the destroyers. He had a pylon basically instead. So he had the 3 doom scythes that I was really worried about. So I didn't have the biggest deployment zone, and I didn't have loads of places to hide, and I spread everything out as much as I could.
how much could that pylon kill? For you?
Oh no, it wasn't. No, I wasn't worried about the pylon. I knew the pylon would kill a Dakar jet a turn, and it did. It killed 1 Dakar jet a turn for 3 turns, and then it was just shooting boys. So
Imagine a strength 14 shot on a single boy.
yeah, just
It was atomized.
yeah, and then spread off into the wind to spawn
One
more
of
orcs
those
all over the
cartoons.
place. Yeah. So I wasn't particularly scared about the pylon. He deployed it first on an objective because it can hold an objective,
Yeah.
which seems fine. And then he did a very clever thing with his Doom scythes because we spoke about it a lot before the game, and I was going to try and force him off the table. But he started them centrally and he just flew them straight forward, giving him all 3 had a chance to turn left or right to still
deployed
stay on
them
the board.
Like in the middle of the board as well.
Yeah.
So he just flew straight up.
Yeah, deploy him in the middle,
pretty
facing
ballsy.
forward, straight forward, 20 inches, so he could do the mortal wounds thing. He only killed like a Met
20
gun,
boys.
a Met gun, and some boys, I think. But then he had left and right turns where he could stay on the board.
Well, we discussed before that you were going to try and bait him to come to a corner.
Yes, and I did
That
that.
didn't work.
I did that. So I put most of my stuff in the corners. I had a few Met guns in the centre, and I had some characters and boys on the left. My war boss on the right with some other stuff. So I did try and bait him to corner, but I don't think he was ever going to be baited. He had he had a plan in mind. He was always going to do
He was
it.
a good player.
Yeah, he was a
Sadly
decent
for you.
player. Yeah, Jason Roberts is his name, so shout out to Jason. So I think he played it really well, and he also did something I didn't expect. That was kind of based on the table. So in the centre of the table was an enormous building that he could just Veil of Darkness, turn 1, 10 immortals onto the central building. So I could never reach them in combat. I don't have much shooting.
But wasn't it impossible terrain?
No, it's just a building.
Oh, okay.
Just a big building.
Cool.
And he annihilated 30 boys turn 1. And I didn't quite manage to force him off turn 2, but I did get him to turn 3 with some commandos. So 2 units of 5 commandos, flew off, forced 2 flyers off the board, and then one of my custom force field, big mech with super shock attack gun killed the other plane, which is pretty cool. But basically that game was lost turn 1. I was struggling for some points. I got about 24 points out of the game, which was decent.
Yeah,
I was happy with that.
But did you feel you were intimidated by him, like when you began the game or beforehand? That we drove up.
Mainly it was maybe I could have just, I don't know. I think what I would have liked to have done is deep strike 2 units of boys.
I think I told
Instead
you
of
not to.
yeah, yeah. Maybe you're doing that secretly to try and side with the Necron player.
Definitely not, because I wanted that best infection Necron
Yeah,
award.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think if I had a deep struck 2 units of boys, but I couldn't have. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a tough matchup. The Doomstar stratagem really made me deploy differently how I'd usually deploy. Yeah. Yes, that was my game 1. It was a close loss, so win to Jason. So your first round, Dick, was?
Yeah, I'm just gonna see who has a very professional.
What was the event like?
First round.
So the event was held in a grand old church, Sanctuary Gaming Centre. It's a pretty cool venue, very good for 40k because it's just Gothic church. And usually it's very cold in there, but because it's quite warm at the minute, it was actually pretty hot in there.
Do we rate it as you guys normally do?
Yes, go what's your rating?
How were the hand
Hand dryers.
Hand dryers.
I don't think the hand dryers
English.
worked.
I don't think there were any.
Oh, yeah, they either didn't work or there was just hand towels.
Yeah, never gross.
I actually I think I managed to go to the toilet twice over the course of the weekend
Good for you.
because I just avoided it as much as I can because the toilets aren't particularly nice,
No.
are they?
No. No. And when you have 60 people going to 2 toilets, plus other normal customers, probably
Yeah.
it wasn't a pretty sight. But everything was saved by the wonderful lunch we had, though.
Yeah, the lunch was really nice.
Those dumplings, that was amazing.
Yeah. How about the TOs? Probably rattle on with our games. The organisation of the event. How'd you rate
I
that?
love Mikey and the gang.
Yeah.
Hellstorming.
Yep.
Hellstorming. We're storming the gates of hell. No, I love Hellstorm Wargaming. Love their battle reports, and I met the guys in Amsterdam last year when it came to the Dutch GT.
Yep.
Which they're going to now again, and you're coming as well, which will be great fun. But so I met them there, met them a couple times over here, and I felt like they're cool guys. They're bound to organize a cool event. So I couldn't attend last event because I had something else. Don't remember what. So I really wanted to go now. Sadly, the only Dutch guy to go. Last time there were like 6 or 7.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few came over.
Yeah. And so I really want to go, show my support, hopefully win a tournament, and just shoot the shit,
Yeah.
play some games over the weekend. Always fun to see you again as well. And see Rob. So no, I really like it. Like the event. I really like the venue. I think the venue is just because it's an old church. The vibe it gives out. It's the shop is in the old pew, and it's Mikey was announcing stuff on the
From the pulpit, I think
Yeah,
it's
I
called.
don't know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like giving a sermon.
yeah. So yeah. So, this morning in the car ride over, I was saying that we were actually going to Sunday morning church.
Yeah. It was quite funny. Yeah, driving to church on a Sunday morning. Yeah.
Yeah. probably the only time in my life I've ever done that, but still. So no, what do you think?
I think the first one that they did, I think
Like
they had
The literal first one?
Hellstorm one. I think they admitted themselves they had some. I don't really know the best word for it, but I think they managed it well. They organised it, but I think it was quite difficult for them. I think they had some hiccups, which obviously first time TOs would have.
Yeah.
But I think since then they've really ironed out their formula for winning the tournament. They're on it. There's loads of communication from them.
I think Mike was, and the guys were pretty relaxed as well.
I've
I've seen him before in stressful situations, and I thought he would be more stressed than he was. He was quite,
I think that's a good sign of them
like,
as
knowing
organisers
their
of
stuff.
the tournament, that they seemed relaxed all the weekend, so they had it all nailed down. Everything ran really smoothly, wasn't any problems. So yeah, they did a brilliant job of organising it.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere was really good.
Yep.
The terrain was fantastic.
Except for one game.
One game, which one?
My second game.
Your second game, nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to hide, but we'll come to that.
Yeah.
Shall we discuss my first game?
Yeah. So your first game.
Okay. So my first game was against Daniel Pratt. Daniel was a lovely Scottish guy, I think. He came down for his first tournament, or his first ITC tournament. He is an avid The Hobbit player, which I've never played nor seen nor even knew people did, but apparently it's a game. So he asked me to take it easy, and I was like, well, I kind of came here to perform, and okay, well, I'll try. We'll just have like a game and do whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, you should just play normally, and I'll do whatever. But he was playing Tyranids. He was the only Tyranid player in attendance. He
Going for that best in faction trophy for Tyranids.
Well, there was one other, like, Gene Stealer Cup, and they were lumped together, so
okay.
it was probably an uphill struggle.
Evening,
to be
Scrivo.
honest. Sorry?
Scrivo's in the chat. Hello.
Ah, Scrivo. Good to see you, man. Yeah, good to have seen you as well. So he had like a Broodlord, a Malanthrope, which gives a -1 to hit to the entire army, or if it is within 3 inches. At the Swarmlord, which can do a double move in the shooting phase. 2 times 20 Gene Stealers, some Termagants, 6 Zone Probes, which are pretty cool because they can do a lot of mortal wounds. They have like a special rule that if there's more than
He's
4,
more than
I think. There's more than 4, they do 2d3 mortal wounds when they smite, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, pretty nice.
And he added Hive Siren, a Neurophrobe, and another Neurophrobe. As the last guy's basically just some psychic support. So, what basically happened, I told him what my army did. And he deployed in such a way that nothing was in range of more than one thing for my special mortal wound stratagem. Which is good for him, because I couldn't do the mortal wound stratagem.
Yeah.
But also pretty bad for him, because that meant that all his buffs didn't work.
that range, yeah.
So, have you ever seen what Tesla does to Gene Stealers?
I've seen what he does to Orcs, so I imagine it's a very similar thing.
Yeah, it's basically the same, except they have a better save, but otherwise it's the same. So I gave him first turn. I backlined all my stuff right on the back line.
Yeah.
I screened stuff out with my Doomsday Arcs. I put my Flames in the back because I thought, well, maybe if he is like a very good player, he could try and block me out, force me into a point on the board where I don't want to be. So I felt like I couldn't put them in the middle and put them in the corner. So he basically moved twice with a stratagem with the Swarmlord with the Gene Stealers. He killed a unit of Screening Scarabs. He almost killed a unit of Immortals. He didn't roll pretty well. Plus I killed like 11 in Overwatch. And that was it. What he could have done is put all his Gene Stealers like in the big ruins in the board, because I had deployed in such a way that I couldn't have seen him if he had done that, and he could have charged out of it the next turn if he wanted to.
Yeah, so you can
maybe negate the Overwatch.
Yeah, so you can charge something you can't see, and they can't Overwatch you.
Exactly.
So he could have done sneaky stuff like that.
And it would be hard for him because it would have been a longer charge, but it would have been safer.
Safe charge, yeah.
Or what he could have done is just hidden them there, and then move the other army up, and then attack all at once, basically. But it was a hard matchup for him. So I killed 11 in Overwatch. He didn't do that much damage back. In my turn, I retreated out of combat, killed all the Gene Stealers, killed this. No, I didn't kill the Swarm Lord. I killed like the Gene Stealer Patriarch, the Brood Lord. That's what it's called. I killed the -1 to hit guy. I killed most of the Termagants.
So what did he have left in his next
Yeah,
turn?
some characters.
He had some
basically,
characters
yeah.
left.
And so afterwards, it was basically just me moving all my flyers across the board and shooting whatever was left. So yeah, it wasn't that much of a game for him, sadly, as well. But yeah, for me, it was a good start because I thought, well, it's a lot of points and it's an easy win. You know, it's a good way to get started and to get your appetites wet and to like rediscover what your army does.
Yeah.
basically.
Would you say you left him with a few things so you can collect more points over the course of the game?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
of course. But
Leave him alive. Just
oh,
like,
no, I didn't do that. No.
Yeah.
Because in this ITC, you, if you had tabled someone, which I think I tabled him in like turn 4,
Yeah.
but if you table someone, you get 4 points for the primary afterwards, so 1
Okay.
point less than the max you could have, which is fine. So I think I missed out on 2 points if I would have left him alive, but it's
Okay.
no fun for him and
Yeah.
no fun for me either. So why
Yeah.
would you really do that?
So I think Tom's throwing a little bit of shade my way in the chat. He's saying you gave him first turn, and I think he's talking about the hashtag first turn problem.
Yeah, well, I gave you shit about that as well.
Yeah.
Because especially in ITC, it's usually beneficial to go second.
Yes, for jumping on
Uh,
objectives and
yeah, exactly.
outscoring your opponent on
Because-
kills and whatever.
For people that don't know, the idea of ITC is that you, the objective is to kill more units than your opponent and to hold more objectives than your opponent. And if you get second, then you see what the other guys what the other guy has done, so you can easily get more objective basically. So you know what to do, you know what to aim for. And I also knew that if I gave him first turn, he would have to come towards me because he's a close combat army.
Yeah.
He
So
could-
if he had loads and loads and loads of shooting, would you have?
No.
You would have gone first.
well, I couldn't. He had.
Oh, he.
first
Oh,
turn.
he had. Oh, he. Yeah.
But even if I would have had first turn, I would have given it to him
Yeah.
because I wanted him to come towards me. No, if he had loads of shooting, I probably would have tried to get first turn, but then I wouldn't have deployed the way I did now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun game. I tried to give him a few pointers to well, help him develop his army more. What also?
I'm not sure it helped because I think he came last.
I'm 100% sure he came last. But I spoke to him afterwards, and he said he had a great time, and it was
Yeah.
the first
Was
tournament.
it?
and,
First time. Yeah.
even when you get a few Star Wars cards as a
Yeah.
prize, it's still a prize. I
Still,
guess.
yeah. Still
So,
some free shit you can
yeah.
flog on eBay.
You got more than I did. Spoiler.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a raffle at the end.
Oh, yeah.
We bought quite a few tickets and got nothing. So
I think we
Feeling
bought
pretty
like
sad.
20 tickets between us.
yeah, and that it was they were getting above and below all our numbers, so just missing out.
Yeah, well, that's life.
So my game 2 was against AdMech, which is, I think it's a pure AdMech list. So one of the first times I've ever played a pure AdMech list. I've played like a mixed one with like a knight, but he didn't have that. So he had 2 big units of destroyers with plasma. He had 2 of the new floaty transports that can shoot
Yeah.
things that you can't have, don't need line of sight.
Oh, really? I didn't
Which
know.
caught me out because I used
Yeah.
I had engineers and I had a
Ooh.
unit of 10 orcs in a ruin.
Did he kill all of them?
No, he didn't kill him. Because as soon as I realised I could shoot stuff at a line of sight, I started tagging him with orc units to stop him shooting. Because
Because the hover tank doesn't fly,
no,
my friends.
no, it just skims the floor. Yeah, so he had 2 big units of destroyers. He had a couple of robots to use a stratagem with the destroyers. He had 3 dragoons, and then like loads of chaff, basically. Some
He did have
servitors.
the servitors, right?
2 units of 4 servitors.
Did he use the repair stratagem?
He didn't get a chance.
Ah.
So he gave me first turn. He had the choice, and he gave me first turn.
Well, do you think it was the same argument that I did? Because
I
you
think
had to go
yes. I
forward.
think
Yeah, he
possibly.
probably
I
had
think
range.
I think he thought he saw orcs across him, and he assumed orcs are just going to run towards me
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to get to shoot them. That's what he assumed I would do.
Which is what you did.
Well, in a roundabout way is what I did. But
A literal roundabout.
so there was a couple of L-shaped ruins in the center that I could hide behind. So I deep struck, so teleported 1 unit of 30, and then 2 big blobs ran behind the line of sight blocking terrain in my first turn. So I was completely hidden. He couldn't see me to shoot. And then I flew my Dakar jets around shooting stuff.
Cool.
And then I basically killed both units of servitors with my Dakar jets turn 1, because I knew he had that stratagem that he could replace a destroyer with a servitor. And also he was using them to sort of screen out their jump and teleporting stuff. So I wanted to just kill his chaff, get some kills, get rid of some crap.
Cool.
But then in his next turn, he moved a small unit of Rangers into the centre, and then his destroyers up, killed a couple of my planes, and I think he put the Rangers in the centre as bait, but I sort of used that against him because I charged.
You took the bait and then
Well, yeah, I
proceeded
took
to fuck him over with it.
yeah. So I had 2 big units of orcs just walk past the Rangers, charge the destroyers, but then pile in to trap the Rangers, meaning I had 2 big units of orcs that he couldn't shoot in his next turn.
Yeah.
And then later on, the
The
other
worst
boys.
thing that could happen to a shooty army. Is
Yeah,
having
yeah.
like 2 enormous units and
Yeah.
can't do anything about it.
And also what screwed him over is I used the charge, the pile in, and the consolidate to tag both of his transport tanks with 1 boy, which stopped them both shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but I also set up the front unit of boys that was kind of a bit withered down to take the hit from the dragoons, because I knew they would clear a lot of orcs as well. So take the hit, and then my other boy unit behind that would then follow up and kill the dragoons.
Cool.
So that kind of happened. It took a few turns because they're quite resilient, and orcs only got strength 4, no AP. And then later on, my teleporting unit came in and went to sort of his back line where he had another unit of destroyers at the back. I didn't quite kill him, but I stopped him shooting a lot and killed a load of his stuff. Killed his engineering unit that was at the back. And my
Engineers as well.
Yeah, we both pretty much took identical stuff. Yeah, and eventually sort of I got the win on that.
Cool. I heard you had some chess clock problems during that game.
We did have some chess clock controversy.
So would you say that your opinion on chess clocks has been revised since then, or adapted?
I
or
didn't mind
influenced?
using the chess clock, but I think if I was to use it seriously, I would have more of a conversation with my opponent about how it actually worked and
Which is
how you
always a
should
good idea
how you should do
on
it.
any game, on
Because
everything.
he suggested we use a chess clock, and
Which
I
is
was
fine.
like, yeah, all right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then we didn't really talk and agree how you use the chess clock. I know there's like some ITC rules pack and things like that on there, but I don't know that. I never really, I haven't read that because I don't really play many ITC tournaments. I never use the chess clock in a game really.
I mean, you don't obsessively go over every rule and every
No.
rules pack.
So
Disappointing.
the issue that we had is that towards the end of my 4th turn, I did a unit and then I went to do my next unit and he said, "Oh, you've timed out." But I felt aggrieved by that because I felt I'd played pretty quick, and we had half an hour left in the round anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asking a lot of questions on my time that he wasn't eating into his time, and we'd messed up the time a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was not accurate. The timing wasn't accurate. So I just sort of like said, I'm not having that, mate. Let's just play on as normal. And I think he wanted me to time out because I was winning.
I think so.
So I would happily play with a chess clock more in a tournament situation, but I would from now on agree properly and be more militant with my use of the chess clock. And anytime he's thinking or asking questions or rolling dice, over to their time.
Yeah.
100%. Shout out to Archean. All right, mate. How's it going? So your game 2 was against.
My game 2 was against the infamous Alex Harrison, who I had met
yes.
previously in a tournament in Denmark. and hung out with Stefan and Guy. And we were talking about it during lunch. We had lunch together as well with Alex, and we noticed that we had like a similar score. It's like, oh, we might get to play each other, and I was kind of excited because it's one of the best players in the world. So how bad could it be? And gotta tell you, the game itself was great. I had a good time playing it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing was, it was the worst board
It was a
I could have
perfect
had.
storm of the
It was
the army and the
worst.
terrain. Yeah.
I think the game was over in like half an hour. I don't know. Yeah, well, basically, Alex was playing Chaos Knight army.
yeah.
For the people at home, he was playing the kind of Chaos Knights, which it can take like mortal wounds.
Yes,
and
it's
gain buff.
it's the infernal household.
Yeah,
You can choose a
exactly.
buff, so he had lots of Avenger Gatling cannons, so you can buff them all to be strength 7, damage 3.
Yeah. So basically, he began doing that. He was taking D3 mortal wounds and was like, haha, sucker.
Right
you're
into
taking-
my trap.
Yeah, you're taking mortal wounds. I'm going to capitalize on all of that. Well, I did not. So all my shit is basically the max toughness I have in my army is toughness 6. He buffed all his strength 6 guns to toughness 7, more damage. Because of the deployment, he could deploy right on the line. And it was whoever deployed first went first.
Mm-hmm.
So he deployed right on the line first. I deployed all of my shit as back as I felt I could and still be competitive. Because I could have backlined more, but I chose not to because then I would be out of position.
That unit wouldn't have achieved anything in your first turn.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
he still had the range. So what I did is I blocked the ways to my army with 2 Doomsday Arcs, feeling like, man, it's pretty hard to kill those. And I put everything else behind them. There was only one tiny building. I think it was about this big. Where's the camera? It's about this big where I
Yeah.
could hide some stuff behind. It just wasn't big enough to hide an entire unit behind. So I felt like might as well not do it. Just oversaturate all the threats and let him make the decision. Because in my army, sorry, you have to generally people focus fire on one of the flyers because
Yeah.
those are the most important to kill.
Yeah.
They're pretty hard to kill. I felt, maybe they'll kill one flyer, maybe they'll kill something else, and then
And that'd be it.
yeah,
Yeah.
should still be good enough. He killed 2 flyers, all my destroyers, and a unit of immortals turn 1, I think, and some scarabs.
And that's almost half your army, right?
That's almost half my army. It's
Yeah,
all
that
the
was
stuff
rough.
that could actually do damage to the knights. I mean, Tesla is good against knights, but it only takes like 5 wounds for each unit if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So it was basically right then and there. I knew that okay, this is not going to go anywhere close to being good. And then I mean, that wasn't the reason why the game went south, but it also didn't do as much damage as I had hoped to do during my first turn. So I didn't even kill a single knight, not even an armiger. And he just basically wiped me off the table the next turn.
So you feel if you had more terrain to hide behind, you'd have kept
Yeah,
more of your
100.
key units safe that you could have then
100.
replied,
If
responded with.
if you had like in the best of terrain, you could have hit most of your army probably.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we were playing on table 3 because we both had pretty high scores, and I thought, well, this is going to go somewhere. So it should be one of the best tables for the event. But just because of the deployment, there wasn't any cover in any of our deployment zones. Just for his army, for the knights, that doesn't really matter. But if you look to the table next to us or the table on the other side, they all had so much more terrain.
Like,
and higher
yeah.
up terrain as well.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't that much I could do on that.
Not
terrain, I
ideal.
think.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Knights is a hard matchup. Any type of Knights is a hard matchup for Necrons because usually like everything has to go well for the Necrons, and the Knight player has to make a few mistakes. And this time we had a good game. He had a plan. He performed it like effortlessly, and everything went well for him. And it didn't go that well for me. So yeah. So
Alright.
after my
So your
stunning
dream was
victory-
over at this point.
Yeah.
You're like,
I mean,
not quite over, but
not completely over.
no.
But so I tabled my first opponent, got tabled by my second opponent.
Yeah.
I think I got 10 points out of that game. 9 even.
9.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that was a disappointment. But
Alright.
Alex was a good chap, so I had a good
Yeah.
good game.
Alright.
Learned a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So my game 3, I played. Oh God, I don't remember now. I played Jez with his Eldar.
yeah.
So I was like, great, Eldar. So he had 3 flyers.
Ah, great. Eldar. Sarcasm.
So he had
yes.
2. So he had 2 Crimson Hunters and a Hemlock Wraith fighter. And then he had 10 Reapers, 3 Wave Serpents, Eldrad, Spirit Seer, and Knights and Rangers. And the board had good amount of terrain. I was happy with the terrain. But what it meant was that he could put his Reapers in a tall building and his Rangers in a tall building. That I
Did
could
he actually take Reapers?
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
nobody took them. I thought they
10
were
10 Reapers.
extinct. Like, Yanari died, all the Reapers died.
They were still pretty good in this game, because I think maybe he took them because there's quite a lot of flyers going around, so it's quite good against. I think in the Eldar mirror match,
Yeah.
shooting flyers out of the sky.
Yeah,
'Cause they just
7
delete-
Elder players out of 60. It's pretty
Yeah,
quite a lot.
yeah. So there's lots of buildings that he could just put his Reapers at the top of that my combat orcs would probably die reaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he went first. I deployed as defensively as I could with my flyers. They were all at the back. He shot 1.5 of them turn 1, and then the other 1.5 his turn 2. So I got 1 turn out of 2 of them. But the mistake that I realised I made after the game is that I could have deployed all 3 flyers within my custom force field bubble to give them the 5-up invulnerable save, which I
What's the
did.
save on a orc flyer? Is it 4?
4+.
So it's -2. So yeah, it would have made a difference.
Yeah. Which I did for the remaining couple of games today, and it saved a few wounds, but not loads. Because a 5-up's okay, but it's not going to save everything.
So you think it wouldn't have made that much of a difference?
Not really. I don't think it would have made a huge difference. 'Cause it's only on turn 1. It's helping anyway.
It's a shame though that you realized that sort of thing during the tournament instead of before the tournament.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have ideal preparation because I think I had 1 practice ITC game with the list, and I had 2 games playing Games Workshop missions with the list. So I didn't really play it properly as several games before this event with the list. So I could have prepared a whole lot better, but I just didn't.
Could have, should have.
Yeah.
Did not.
Yeah. So my plan against Jez was so I put in the teleporter 2 units of 30 boys, and I thought, right, okay, I'll try and force the flyers off the board.
Mhm.
But we had the deployment, which was long ways. I can't remember what that's called.
I could
So you're
check.
playing on the
Don't want
two narrow edges to get against each other. But because it's Eldar flyers, they can do 2 turns. It was really difficult, and I think he would have to make a massive mistake to give me a position to actually force him off. Because on turn 2, I don't think I could have done it, and then I waited till turn 3, and then in turn 3, his flyers were facing towards his own army, so he was effectively screening out all the area that I wanted to put my boys to force him off. So I couldn't possibly do it. Yeah, it was a really enjoyable game against Jez anyway. It was fun to play.
He really knew his army.
Yeah, he knew his army really well, and we had a good laugh. And I did my best I could with Dat Orcs. My Super Shock attack gun went crazy once. So the first time ever I'd rolled the Mortal Wounds power on
Really?
it. But then he had lightning fast reactions on the unit, so I didn't hit with a single one.
Huh?
I was hitting on 6s.
And you didn't
I
put
didn't
more
roll-
DACA on?
No. I was strapped for command points at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And
Because
I
no
didn't
double
roll
value.
any 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went down and I lost, but I still got a decent amount of points. I think I got 24 points out of the game. So I
You
managed to
got
get
20
recon.
points out of the game.
20 points. Yeah.
Was
so,
it a close game? 28-20.
Yeah. So I managed to get in pretty much every game. I maxed out recon and almost maxed out engineers. I pretty much just took those 2 every time. I think I took big game hunter in this game. I think I only killed
Against the
one.
Flyers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that one again, probably, are you?
Well, actually, no.
Maybe if you took some looters.
Yeah. Well, actually, in the next game, which we'll come to in a minute, I played Eldar again, and I did actually kill the flyers this time.
All right. So, also, maybe fun thing to say is that at the beginning of round 1, you had more points than I did, because I had suffered such a beating against
Yes.
Alex.
Yeah.
That you had edged out with me. But I was playing 4 tables down from you. I was playing I think it was my favorite game of the event. I was playing Paul Shabrook. Lovely guy. First time I met him. But it was basically the exact same night list I played with Alex, except the Loyalist version.
The Loyalist version. So all the Avenger Gatling cannons.
All the Avenger Gatling cannons.
Yeah.
It had, let's see, yeah, everyone had, no, one didn't have an Avenger Gatling cannon. He had a thermal cannon. No, he had the Endless Fury, so he also had an Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they all had an Avenger Gatling cannon. And 2 Hellbrinds, basically. Whereas Alex had the other guys.
Well, they're War Dogs for Chaos, but like the
Whatever.
yeah, the guys with the melter guns and chain glaive thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Paul, yeah, we just had a real fun game. I again did not get first turn. That was problematic, but it was kind of expected as well. So I this time I deployed my stuff a bit better, I think, because I had more terrain, and also because now I thought, well, maybe just a bit line of sight blocking is better than none at all. So I hit all my destroyers. And tried to put my planes in such a way that he had to really move out with all his knights to effectively target them. What was very funny is that he shot all his stuff into one plane, shot it out of the sky. I was like, it was pretty easy for him. Then he proceeded to shot almost his entire army at the other flyer. Didn't do anything, and then a single Helvrin destroyed it with 4 wounds.
Really?
Yeah,
From
I failed
full
all
to
my
zero?
saves. Yeah, I
Wow.
think I rolled ones in. Well, it's -1, so 1, 2s, and 3s for like 7 of the 8 wounds
Yeah.
he did.
Did he use the stratagem where you can ignore modifiers at all?
No, he
no,
forgot
it
to use it.
just it was just flat, just hitting at -1.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah, but
pretty
I
good.
mean, didn't do that good afterwards. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Helvins tend to have that one moment in the game where they do something amazing.
Yeah, well, that was this
Yeah,
this
that
moment.
was the
That was
time.
it. I think he also managed to kill a Doomsday Arc. Oh, so I was lying when I said earlier that the Doomsday Arcs only got killed 1 game. So one of them died there. So the Doomsday Arc also got destroyed, and he did not charge me because I had deployed everything in such a way that even if he moved his full move towards me, he couldn't reach me.
So in the pack they had 3 missions which were alternate deployment and 2 which were the new Games
Yeah.
Workshop version of.
That's the way the ITC do it. Like
Yeah.
all uneven missions have like deployment. You deploy something, I deploy something.
Yeah.
And then you get the +1. The one who
If you
finishes
finish
first
first,
gets the
gets
+1 to go first. And the other ones have the new Games Workshop type deployment where you roll a die, the loser. No, the winner picks the deployment zone, and the loser deploys his entire army.
But then has the choice of first or second turn.
No, he doesn't have a choice. He has to go first.
Does it?
Yeah. So the way in ITC, the way it works, and
really?
is because they
Well,
felt it's
We did that wrong in turn 2 in my game 2 then.
really
Because he deployed first and gave me the first turn.
well. that
I
just
think
wasn't
anyway.
I mean, it wasn't a smart thing to give you first turn anyway. But no, in ITC they feel that it's unfair because if you can see, what was it again?
You see how your opponent deploys opposite you.
Yeah.
Is it too good that you can choose?
Yeah, so basically, exactly, yeah. So if you deploy very aggressively, and I see that, and I backline, then your first turn doesn't have any value anymore, so to say. And then you would say, okay, you can have first turn, Dick, because you're not going to do anything anyway. And I felt that is an unfair advantage. So you should always, so the player who loses the roll-off, he gets to choose whether or not he deploys first or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the next ITC tournament in Amsterdam.
Noted.
Noted.
Okay. So which method do you prefer?
I I don't like that it's mixed.
Yeah. Okay. It'd be better if they decided
Yeah.
one way
I
or the other.
think I prefer deploying everything
Mm-hmm.
in one go, just because it's less stressful, I think.
It is less stressful. I think I like it because you design your army to work a certain way, and you can kind of deploy it how an army would organize itself for deploying.
Yeah.
But I do also like the alternate deployment because I really enjoy
It's
those
actually more tactical.
Yeah, it's tactical, and I really like having things in my list that don't give anything away. So
Yeah, me too.
in alternate
Scarabs.
my first deployments would be commandos, Deathcopter, and boys in teleporters. So that's 4 deployments before I've
Exactly.
even given anything
So
away.
that would be an entire knight army.
Yeah. So then you get all the information of where their stuff is, and then you can put your stuff down.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so I don't mind either. I think I like it more to deploy the entire army just because it's more forgiving. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I deploy an army, it's a process, you know. So after you've deployed like half of it, you're like, oh, I should have done this. And if you get to
Yeah.
deploy your entire army, you get to change it.
Yeah, you get to rejig.
Exactly, and you can't do that if you deploy after each other.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the game. The reason why I love Scarab so much is because of this. So he moved one of his knights up, and he couldn't assault yet. But so he had a very good first turn. I was like, okay, this is going to be a repeat of my last game. This is going to suck. But I moved my Scarabs out right in front of the knight. So outside of heroic intervention range and between 2 buildings. So he couldn't move anymore. So I was like, okay, I don't have to do anything about that knight, because the only thing it can do is maybe assault the Scarabs and kill them and shoot something. But I can't kill 2 knights with my army, so I have to focus on one thing, and I have neutralized one. So I've decided to focus on the other knight, the one with the Relic Avenger Gatling Cannon, because he was the most scary. So basically what happened is I shot my entire army into it. Everything. I did the mortal wounds from Imatech. I did loads of Tesla shots into him.
Did you do the Doom Scythe?
No, because
Mortal wounds thing?
No, two Doomsides died.
Oh yes,
Yes.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and it came down to the very last dice rolls, and he was left standing.
Kept
with,
you alive.
with 1 wound.
And then that's always the worst wound to leave a knight on, because then they can just do
Yes,
Machine Spirit Resurgence,
exactly.
and then it's fine.
And what's worse is because you need to kill something in ITC, it cost me a point.
Yeah.
Basically, and it's cost me another secondary as well, because I picked Titan Slayer, so I got 2 points for Titan Slayer and no kill, and that was it. And I was like, this is going to be the exact same thing as the other game. He's going to wipe me off the board. But thankfully, Paul was a gentleman, and he proceeded to roll absolute garbage for the rest of the game. I told him afterwards, if he had rolled
It's very kind
like
of him.
normal,
Yeah.
he would have wiped me off the table.
Yeah.
Like, easily, but he didn't. So
What was so bad? Just his shots or his saves, or just everything?
no, well, I mean, he did pretty well in his saves, but like this turn, I think the armigers, both the armigers and the one of the other knights, they shot at my destroyers. I had placed them in cover. No, I had placed 3 in cover, and the other 2 couldn't make cover. So I was like, okay, I'm going to kill those 2 first, and the rest are going to be in cover. Yay, 2 up safe. He didn't kill 1. Not a single one. That's pretty horrific. With 3 knights shooting at your 5 guys. He then proceeded to charge me with his 1 knight on 1 wound. Killed in Overwatch.
Yeah,
With-
that's not
with
advisable
Tesla.
at all. No.
Yeah, and there was the one thing, and it was he had a very underwhelming turn, and I was like, maybe I can scavenge this out somewhere out of the.
You can see the winning post now.
Yeah, I did, and it proceeded to be. I was kind of resigned that I was gonna die a horrible death, and this was all my Necron victory dreams would be crushed. But I was like, okay, maybe this game could be something. So I was making like a mental switch, and I was thinking, okay, it's gonna be. I'm never gonna kill everything of his army, but I need to scrounge as much points as I can.
Yeah.
So I had killed the knight on 1 wound in Overwatch, and then I proceeded to move my entire army in such a way that he couldn't assault me anymore. So no, he could, but only with one, I think, with one knight. And I hope to kill the knight during my turn with my remaining army. So of course I left that knight on 1 wound, as is classic and tradition.
The second
as of
one.
now, the second one, yes. And I was I was getting royally pissed off. But well, there was nothing more I really could do.
No.
So I was moving my army around. I tried to kill one knight. Literally 1 wound left.
And was this the game where you realised afterwards you could have used the scarab stratagem to explode and to kill it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That you forgot about?
Yeah. That is probably the biggest mistake I made. Is during my turn 1, what I should have done. I forgot I had 1 unit of scarabs somewhere in the corner of my deployment zone, and I placed him in cover, somewhere where he couldn't see or shoot at him. Also meant I couldn't see them, and I forgot about him. What I should have done is moved them up. Because scarabs have quite a big move and they fly. So I should have moved them up in charge range of the knight. I mean, he might have killed them in Overwatch, but maybe he wouldn't have. And if he
You
didn't,
needed 1 to survive on 1 wound,
exactly.
so yeah.
I needed 1 to survive 1 wound, get in. I could also, if I felt that the distance was too much, I could have advanced and still charged with him with stratagem. And then I could have, assaulted it and mortal wounded to death. But yeah, thanks for reminding me. It's one of the things I should.
No problem.
I
I'll
should
remind you of the mistakes that you'll regret for weeks
for the
to
rest
come.
of
That's
your
fine.
life. Should actually note them down somewhere. Just to complete the story, the other knight on 1 wound did kill the scarabs like the previous turn, which I used to block them off, so I couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Sad times. But so another knight on 1 wound. This time he didn't charge me. He whiffed again during his shooting phase. He killed some stuff. I think he killed the other Doomsayer Arc. Or did it live? Oh shit! That also died. And he didn't dare to charge me, but I think the Doomsayer Arc was all he killed. So then in my turn, I again moved the other way around. So he couldn't reach me anymore. I killed the knight on 1 wound. And then I was like, okay, well, the only thing I can really do is try to get points with Kingslayer, because I put Kingslayer on his Warlord knight. So Kingslayer is basically every 4 wounds you do is a point.
Yeah.
And I knew I probably couldn't kill it, but 4 wounds is doable.
Yeah, that was generally my approach because I faced knights once this weekend, and that was what. Because my army can't kill lots of knights, but I know I can reasonably kill 1 knight.
Exactly.
So I would always pick Kingslayer, so you get 4 points out of that.
Yeah. Against knights, I played knights twice. I picked Kingslayer on 1 knight. I picked Titan Slayer for the other 2, and Recon or something. So yeah, in my third turn, I killed the other knight, did 4 wounds on the Warlord, got some recon points, and tried to move in such a way that it could mitigate any damage he could do. So I hit some stuff, tried to do it in such a way that he just couldn't kill anything out of me. So I managed in such a way that at the final turn, it was, let me check what it was. It was 25-24 for him. And I had the last turn. So
that was the end of his last turn.
yeah,
So
it was the end of it.
turn.
Yeah. So 1 point difference.
Yeah.
But he had killed something in my turn.
Yeah.
No, I think he didn't kill something in my turn. That was it. He
So
just
you
barely
had
managed not to
yeah.
kill something in my turn.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, he had 2 armatures left and his Warlord. Maybe through a Hail Mary, I could kill one of the armigers, and then I would get 2 points because he hadn't killed something. So
Yeah,
I
'cause
would
you'd
kill
kill
one,
something,
kill
kill
more, and I get 2 points. But no, it was not to be, and I
Not to
lost
be.
by 2 points. Yep.
Thought there was going to be a heroic tale there.
Yeah, but it was an heroic
Yeah.
tale in such a way that it was close up until the end. I mean, as I
Yeah.
said, I think I was playing well tactically, but if he had rolled like a normal person, then
Yeah.
all my tactics in the world
Yeah.
wouldn't have changed the outcome of that
Yeah.
game, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
that
you-
was the end of game
Yeah.
day 1.
So you play quite a lot of ITC, and I don't play that much ITC. But one thing that I do quite like about it is that, and I think lots of other people have said it, like even if you're losing in a game, you can still try and score points. Whereas, although I do really like single missions where it's just win or loss that mission.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, if you're out of the mission, you can get a bit of a sad because it's literally just you've got nothing left to play for if you're out down and
Yeah.
out.
So most tournaments play either win-loss, like the GW tournaments do, or they use the ETC missions, which is basically a 20-0 points.
Yeah.
So you basically it's like the difference in score, you divide it by 2 and you add or subtract it from 20 from 10,
Yeah.
and then that's the difference. So basically,
Yeah.
it always adds up to 20. So that means that every point you score, even if you're losing, is a detriment to your opponent.
Yeah.
Whilst in ITC, that's not the case.
Yeah.
In ITC, it's the maximum points you can have is 42. But if you win with 42 points and I have 41 points, you've still won the points with max points you can have. So the best result you could have. Even I had a very good loss, like on the high point loss as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it creates an atmosphere where people want to give their opponent stuff as well. So
Yeah.
when you table someone, it's like, okay, but
You could have got recon the
Yeah, you
last
could have done-
turn.
yeah, exactly.
You
you could have
get that character,
secondary,
you go,
and-
you Kingslayer thing.
exactly.
Yeah, and I kind of had an experience of that in
friendly.
one of my games where I could have put a unit of orcs on an objective and stopped my opponent scoring it, but I gained literally nothing from scoring it, so I just left it so he could score a point.
But did you tell him that?
No,
You didn't.
no,
I would have.
get good guy
Oh,
points.
yeah,
Like,
definitely
yeah,
would.
I'm letting you have that one.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's all about
So
good guy points.
Huh?
It's all about the good guy points.
yeah. So that was game 3. So game day 2 was
Yeah, well,
today. We
Let's
had 2 games.
Do a recap from day 1, probably. And
Yeah.
then I went 1 and 2. You did as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were both pretty.
Middle of the
Not
road.
down, but it could have gone a lot better for
Yeah.
both of us. I
Yeah.
think we imagined better results.
I was perhaps the one thing that I was disappointed in is the main reason I took my orcs is so I could take my Dakar jets,
Yeah.
and they were target number 1 for everybody who
Of
I
course.
faced. Like
It's
literally,
the only thing anti-armor could shoot at.
I suppose, yeah. But I was just a bit sad because in most games one game I went first, the other 2 I went second, and I lost like 2 planes turn 1 without using it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit sad about that. So Scriver's saying, if they survive past turn 1, your opponent was failing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I suppose
I
that's
agree.
true.
It's the
Because
same.
actually, I think in my first game, I had 1, and I was actually playing it wrong. I realised in my second game, I was assuming, up until my second game that I was using them, that the super shooters were heavy weapons. So when I was
you're suffering
moving,
the
I
minus
was
1.
I was shooting on 5s to hit
I don't
rather
think
than
orcs
4s.
have any heavy weapons.
No, I don't think they do. Most of them are assault, yeah.
But
But then when I realised they were hitting on 4s and we were on 1s, pretty fucking good.
yeah, that's the whole reason people take them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scrivo was lamenting your mistake. It's
Yeah.
good. You picked like the best orc flyer, and you didn't even know why they were good.
No. I was like, why is everyone like these? These are shit. Like
Yeah,
hitting
well.
on 5s is
I
terrible.
made some good, cool conversions, but
Yeah.
But the reason you're saying your flyers were always targeted first, but that's the reason why I've taken my flyers. Because after the latest GW FAQ, where you can move through planes, which was a wonderful and probably great change,
Yep.
I felt like they really missed. They defeated the purpose because they used them to block out things like knights or whatever. And now I couldn't do that anymore, so I dropped them, and I played a couple games. But it just meant that my opponent focused on my destroyers or all my other stuff, which I
Yeah.
actually valued more.
Yeah.
With the flyers, the good thing about them for me is that your opponent adapts his deployment, or should, and just the threat of it. I haven't used that stratagem at any point during this tournament.
And Scrivers just let me in on another secret, which I actually remember now. Apparently, there's a orc stratagem with flyers. So if you're shooting on flyers, you get an extra +1 to hit. So they'll be hitting on 3s, rolling 1s.
That's not even orky.
Fuck! I wish I knew that because I
Fuck,
fought lots
wish
of
you knew
flyers.
anything. So yeah, it was our day one.
Yeah.
So we went home. We played some.
Well, so we went to Frankie and Benny's.
Oh, yeah.
With some of the guys. I had a pizza.
Yeah, it wasn't
burger.
the best food. Well, great company. I think
Yeah.
some guys gave Mikey a cake
A-
for his birthday,
Yeah, a
which
late
was
birthday
last
present.
January. I think.
January, yeah, bit late,
Yep.
but later never though. Yeah, and then we played some Space Hulk. You'd never played before.
No, it was
Was-
a pretty fun game.
Yeah, it's a good game. So then we headed to church on Sunday morning to
Yep.
pray
To pray
to the gods of
If we
Warhammer,
could go-
the dice gods.
3 and 2 and
Yeah.
save at least my honor. So how did your first game go?
So my first game, I had another Eldar player. So I had George, who is the Nurgling guy in chat, I believe.
Really?
Yes.
Is he here? Is he still here?
I don't think he's here, but he's been in the chat before. So he had three. He had three flyers, a wraith fighter, a wraith fighter. Is that it? The psychic one.
Hemlock Ray Fighter.
Hemlock wraith fighter, yeah, and then 2 crimson hunters, 3 wave serpents with some guardians and some rangers. Lots of characters. He went first, and he kind of went for one of my boy units, tried to delete it straight away.
Really? With Ray Fighter?
No, with his, so he ran loads of his guardians up into the centre, doomed the unit, guided some of the stuff. I think it was one of his wave serpents, but what he didn't account for, because guardians only got a range 12. He didn't
He
account.
didn't know that.
Well, I don't think he
Quite
quite.
range 18?
No, that's Dire Avengers.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, so Guardians only range 12. So he just shot the first unit of Guardians, then I removed the stuff out of range of the other unit. But then he just left this big, meaty pile of Guardians, which my orcs wanted to go and dine on in turn 1. So Warboss Nikos ran straight in. He led the charge.
All the tactics
Yeah,
went out of the
he
window.
He just went for it. Then so Warboss Nikos, the Pain Boy, and 30 boys, and another unit of boys charged in, killed all the Guardians in the centre. One, I think 2 Dakar Jets survived, or 1 survived. I killed some Guardians with it. Then later on, one of the boy units got recycled using Green Tide and did a cool double charge. So I went all along one of the short board edges, 10 on one side, 10 on the other, and then 10 linking the 2 blobs, charging 2 units either side in either corner of the board, killing them and holding 2 objectives in that turn, which is a pretty cool maneuver. But the hero of this game was my Pain Boy, because he shot me a lot with lots of shots with Doom on my boy units. And my Pain Boy must have saved at least 60 wounds.
6T.
I reckon about 60 wounds over the course of the
Literally.
game. Yeah, honestly.
Thanks,
I
Rob.
rolled so many 6s in this game for my boys, which probably made it more of a loss
Did
for
you
George.
use one of
than it
those
would've been.
special Scrivo dice, Honest Wargamer dice?
I was not. No, I was
I have
using James Workshop dice.
Oh,
So
sellout.
they're the loaded James Workshop dice.
Such a sellout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so my Pain Boy was the hero of that game.
Scrivo, do you have the link to those loaded dice somewhere?
I gave you one. A James Workshop one.
No, I meant
Oh,
the
he
Honest
got some
Wargamer dice. I don't care
yes.
about- I
Yeah.
do care about
Yeah. Oh,
thanks,
thanks, man.
Thanks for the dice.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so I had a really fun game against George. He felt he was down and out. And also in this game, it was the first time that I actually tried to shoot a flyer properly. Because before I wasn't investing any CP into my shock attack gun to shoot flyers, but this time I did. I did Mordaka, and I managed to kill a plane in one, which was pretty nice.
Second time the thing went ham.
Second time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've only been on the receiving end of that once, and I hated every second of it.
Yeah,
it was terrible. It was one of those moments where I felt like, Orcs OP, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll come to even greater game in my turn 5. But first, how about your game 4?
You mean your game 5?
My game 5. My turn 5. My game 5.
Turn 5, you could have just got it right now. Okay, my game 4 was against the lovely gentleman. Let's see. Somewhere on the lower tables, I assume.
Yeah, Scrivo now has also been converted to the power of the Pain Boy.
Has he?
Yeah, my Pain Boy was so good in that game that I was imagining.
Really didn't feel him, right?
Sorry?
Tom really was against him, right?
I think he wasn't a massive fan of them.
I think when you were
I think they're great value. And he was so good in that game, and I was imagining how he was being such a good doctor. I was just imagining some sort of drama where there was an orc doctor, like House, but just
House.
an orc
Not
hospital.
ER, but House.
Yeah, ER, but like an orc doctor. I think that would be hilarious.
It would have been, yeah.
Do you mean a pork doctor?
Okay, I think that's the reason why you're not on the show tonight. Bad joke.
Luckily, Rob's not mic'd up, so no one heard that awful
no one
joke.
heard the awful joke. Okay, we're not repeating it. Okay, so
I
my
was looking
game
out for a mic
4
now.
was against John Ryan, the lovely guy. He played Astra Militarum. He had a brigade. He basically didn't have the most optimized army, which kind of makes sense because he was down in the dregs with me.
Down in the gutter with us lot.
Exactly, yeah. So this is the first time I went first this entire tournament. Really love this. Someone is stalking us. Keefe85, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit weird to be outside of the bushes following us.
I mean, do you see any bushes here? But, no, John. Awesome opponent. He basically had a couple company commanders, 6 squads of infantry, some Bulgrin, 6 only, thank God, because those are the bane of my existence.
Yeah, they're hard to shift, those Bulgrins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the black ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the black ones are the hardest to shift.
Of course,
They're the easiest to arrest.
supported by me and a Storm Priest and Sergeant Harker. Some Rough Riders, because you need to fill out this brigade. A Scout Sentinel, a Manticore, a Wyvern, another Wyvern, a Demolisher Tank Commander, another Demolisher Tank Commander,
Lots
and
of
an
tanks.
Astrocav.
Lots of armour.
Lots of tanks, lots of armor. I was very scared of all of it. I needn't have been. He
Okay.
deployed his Demolisher cannons in the corner, in the right corner, away from everything useful.
Aren't they really short range?
They're 24-inch range.
Okay.
And apparently I didn't know that, but
Was he planning to jump them later?
no. I'm certain he wasn't. Afterwards he said that the Demolisher cannons probably wasn't the best thing to take,
No.
and I agreed with him.
Yeah.
But they're also shorter range, so like normal Lima Russes, they get to move 6 inches and still fire twice, and
Yeah.
12 inches normally.
Yeah.
And the Demolisher move 10 or 5, which proved to be quite big in this
Yeah.
game. So I went first. I had a depressingly bad first turn. I was like, no, even when I go first, nothing works. What's happening to me? So I only killed a single Demolisher cannon and some guardsmen. I took the Manticores both down to, one down to the lowest bracket, no, to the middle bracket, and one down, not even a bracket. And I was feeling sorry for myself, dear listeners. I was feeling very sorry for myself.
Did
What-
you do the Doomscythe stratagem?
I did not. And would I have done otherwise? I could have done it on the Bulgrin. Probably should have done it on the Bulgrin. But I felt like I needed the cannons to kill some planes. Some tanks. Sadly, they did not manage.
Yeah.
But the idea was sound. I think. I feel
Yeah.
I would do it again.
I suppose like it might not always be the best thing to do because that stratagem is like killing units in a concentrated area.
Yeah.
Whereas if you really want to kill certain targets that are spread out,
No, exactly. And I really
then your
needed to
death
kill
rays
the
are quite
tanks.
good. Yeah.
And that's basically the most important thing about this game, I think.
Yeah.
And I felt like 3d3 strength 10 minus 4 d6 damage shots plus 2d6 strength 10 minus 5 d6 damage shots plus 15 strength 6 minus 3 d3 damage shots could kill more than one tank. Sadly, they
Nice.
could not.
Soften them up for turn 2 though, surely.
Yeah, I mean, they did, but...
But it gave him a chance to respond with more
Exactly.
firepower than you were hoping.
Yeah, exactly. But fortunately, when he started his turn and started shooting, I realized that manticores were actually not that very good. I also realized that when he shot his, I think he shot a wyvern at my immortals, which was the only thing in range of his remaining demolishing cannon. If I just removed one, he was outside of range and couldn't do anything anymore. Like, yeah. So I removed that guy, neutralized that threat.
Yeah.
So I think he didn't manage to kill a single unit in his turn, which meant I got kill more. I did not get hold more because he managed to charge my stuff, I think, with his bullgrin, which was scary, but it was only -2. The good thing about bullgrins is that they don't die and they do damage to... they have damage to in close combat. That's pretty good. But against immortals, it doesn't really matter that much. So they charged, almost killed the unit. Was fine with that. Basically, then in the rest of my, in my turn 2, I killed all the squads of all the guardsmen.
So did you like ignore the immortals?
The bullgrin.
Bullgrin, sorry.
I wanted to, but then I decided probably wasn't a good idea. So what I did, I basically decided to, because he had only 6 and he had given the wounds. The problem with bullgrin is that they always have a mix of shields, and they were fully buffed up.
Yeah.
So they either had a 1+ armor save, or a 3+ invul save,
Yeah.
and that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it meant that one had taken a wound earlier, and he had allocated it, I don't know, either to to one of them, which meant that I could choose what to shoot at it, basically. So because if I shot at it with my Tesla, it had to be on a 3+ invul, which would have been like better than the 1+ save. Whilst if he had allocated it to the armor save guy, it would have been better to do the high strength one first. So I basically just killed like 2 guys just by sneakily dividing my shots. Killed some tanks, killed all the infantry, got a hold more, didn't got a hold more this time again. Got kill more though, got most of my secondaries. His turn, he kind of whiffed. He charged some things, but didn't really do that much. I think he got his Rough Riders on the boards to finally score some recon points. But then on my turn 3, I basically mopped up the entire army.
So what do you usually have particular secondaries that you go for and that your army is designed to get?
I heavily favor killing secondaries.
Killing ones,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because even though fluff-wise my Necron army should be very resilient, it's actually not. If you know what you're doing, if you focus fire on the units, you can easily kill my entire army in like a couple of turns. But if you divide your shots, they'll all stay alive. So what my army does really well is it focuses. It can really focus fire on like a few things. So what I try to do is basically identify what gets me the most points for ITC in my opponent's army. So this time it was Big Game Hunter because it had like 6 tanks.
Lots of tanks, yeah.
It was Butcher's Bill, killed 2 units a turn. He only realized at the end of the tournament, after I overheard somebody else say it, that you could get Butcher's Bill in both your turns.
What,
So-
yours and their turn? you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Was
Which
it
is
in the
good for
battle
you.
round, is it?
No, like once in your turn and once in your opponent's turn, you could do it.
Oh, okay.
which is good for like an assaulty army.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't really impact me at all, but for other people it manages. So so Butcher's Bill, and I picked Recon because I have the flyers, the scarabs, and I'm usually deployed with my mortars in the center of the board. And if you're in the center of the board, you can pick what side you want to be on. So for secondary, it's always good to go for the ones you can easily get.
So you tend to favour ones that. So you're more of a reacting to what your opponent has.
Yeah.
And choosing kill ones.
Yeah.
Whereas I kind of think had a different approach where I I designed my army. My army list was inspired by someone else who was at the event who came to talk. I can't believe. I think his name.
Scrivo?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Scrivo.
It wasn't Scrivo.
No.
Shout out to Scrivo.
It was
Always
the
a
top orc
scrap.
at the event. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It's Mike something or John
Should
something.
I check?
No, it's okay. So I played him at the last Hellstorm with my knights and his orcs. So his army list kind of inspired how I sort of designed my army list. And it was designed. In every game I picked Recon because I've got lots of orcs and spread out. I've got my planes that can help me get it. I've got the commandos and the Death Copter dropping in, and I jump as well to score Recon. And I found I pretty much chose engineers every game as well, because I'd just have hopefully a ruin that I can hide in. So I had 10 boys and 10 grots, so were usually my engineers, or I chose a big blob of orcs because it's hard to shift that if you've got an objective in the open that you need to sit on. And I'm quite resilient with the custom force field and the pain boy to keep me there. And also I can unstoppable green tide that unit if they do kill it down to 1 to come back and be the engineers again. So I designed my army to focus on secondaries that I could achieve regardless of my opponent.
Yeah, but I was
To an
doing the
extent.
same. It's like I know. I think one of the things I do very well as a player is I can identify what is a threat on my opponent's army, and what I can do with my units against his. So, for example, the 2 units of scarabs are pretty good to block out stuff, to put on objectives, but they're also very good engineers.
Yeah. Is that because, great if there's a ruin that you can hide in, but also they're quite small,
They're
so
very
you can
small.
hide behind a little tiny
Nobody
wall.
sees them.
Yeah.
I don't even see them.
Yeah. Yeah. And no one really wants to waste
Exactly.
shooting a scarab. do they?
Exactly. What you should.
Yeah.
And I don't like the end of game secondaries.
No.
And
Not a fan of
the
those.
one I despise the most is behind enemy lines. It's because
Yeah.
you have to have at least one unit, in your opponent's deployment zone at the beginning of your turn.
So you've got to get there and then survive.
Exactly, and that's just. I mean, if you got a
Eldar flyers are
competent opponent-
fine.
Yeah, well, exactly. If you're an Eldar flyer, I would do it all day, every day.
Yeah.
If you're me, no. Sadly not. And I think it's... Yeah, well, it fits my playstyle to be reactive in a sort that you... it's just good to know what you can do and respond to your opponent. I think I think it's the sign of a good player if you don't have your plan set in stone and do the same thing every game, like a certain broadside build, for example.
Yeah. A boring broadside list,
Now,
which just sits.
was it that boring?
News just in.
Broadside
9
boring?
broadside lists are very boring.
Really?
To play and to play against.
Well, yeah. But I think also to play with, yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we go back to the game?
Yes. Where were we? We were on mine or
game.
yours?
Okay, your
so
fifth game.
it's my 5th game. So
I
I
heard
played.
there was a shock attack gun which went haywire.
Yes, it went
again.
haywire. I think
Third time.
twice in this game.
Twice in one game,
So-
folks.
So my last round, I drew knights, which most of the time I'd be like, oh no, knights. But
Yes.
'Cause
Oh
I
no,
was-
knights. Almost as boring as 9 broadsides. Shout out to Jay who won the tournament with knights.
with the easy mode list, right?
Well,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. But I
No,
wasn't
it's
I
actually
wasn't
quite an
upset with
achievement.
I wasn't upset with the draw because I drew Clem, who I know who's an awesome dude. So I was happy to be playing
Oh yeah, cool.
someone I already knew, who I knew I'd have a fun game against in the last
Yep.
round. So I was super pleased with that draw. And it was the last game, and it wouldn't be a ridiculously complicated game because you just got a few knights, and it's just like I know what I do. I've got to kill the knights. So
Which is also the problem.
what was cool though? I had a massive rock in my deployment zone, so I put my shock attack gun right on top of this rock. So unless he got close to it, he would never be able to kill me.
Oh, cool.
And he was going to go first, but then I seized on his ass.
Really? You seized?
I seized on
Shit.
it for the first time in a long time.
I didn't seize a single time.
No. Well,
Sadly.
Luckily I did, because actually I did make a mistake and I forgot to deploy something further forward than my shock attack gun. So had I not seized,
Really?
my shock attack gun would have died.
What did you do? I mean, it was the how do you call it? The sideways deployment?
Yes,
crooked deployment?
the diagonal one, yeah.
A diagonal, yeah.
Yeah, so I had my shock attack gun on a rock and then everything else in the corner behind the rock. And I just totally forgot about protecting him. So it's very lucky that I seized. But I also used my flyers because he had a long strider gallant. So I put 2 flyers in the way where his gallant could go, just in case he did get first turn. And then I jumped 10 shooter boys in his way to just do a Gandalf and say, "You shall not pass" for turn 1.
To a Gandalf. I think Gandalf was actually at the tournament.
Gandalf was there, yeah.
Martin Baker, I
He
think his name is.
won best
Good to meet him.
Best dude.
Best dude.
Best
Best
dude.
wizard
Best
he was.
wizard. Yeah.
I think Scrivo's making a portrait of him.
Yeah, Scrivo. The prize was a Scrivo portrait. So I used 10 boys turn 1 and then 5 commandos turn 2 to stop the gallant, but then turn 3 got into me. But I was
pretty
focusing
good.
on. I chose Kingslayer, was focusing on his warlord.
Uh-huh.
And
Same
twice in this game, my shock attack gun went crazy and I got the mortal wounds. And I think the first time it happened, I only got 2 hits. But then in my very last shot of the game, my shock attack gun got 11 hits at strength 12. I think I rolled the
Special
dice. I
James
think I
Workshop
got
dice.
like 63 mortal wounds or something like that. But at this point, it was massive overkill because the gallant only had 5 wounds left anyway. And I was actually quite surprised with how
the gallant survived to turn 6.
I wasn't shooting it at all. I was shooting at his warlord who had the endless fury and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
The Dakar Jets did quite good work against that. Just weight of fire, just making it take loads of 4+ armor saves. And against the Gallant, I was really surprised I actually killed that. I didn't think I would, because I fought it a lot with my orcs in combat, and it's 3s and 6s, they got a 3-up save. But I just fought it enough and just ground it down. He was still killing vast swathes of orcs, but managed to get him down eventually.
Cool.
And I was just
How much
doing
did you win by?
engineers and recon. I lost by I can't remember what the score was. Something like 30-20, something like that. And I think I was a little bit tired at this point, and I took my eye off. I couldn't ever be. I was going to struggle to kill one, and definitely kill more.
Yeah.
I needed to
That's one of
focus
the reasons why
more
knights
on
are so good.
holding more. I
can never
took
get
my
kill more.
eye off holding more a little bit in that game, so I could have scored a few more points if I'd have held more objectives, focused on that. But it was a really nice way to round off the tournament, playing someone I know and I like, and I had a fun game. So I was really pleased.
Good. Well, I was in a similar situation. I played Toby Lydiard.
Ah, yes.
Everybody knows and loves him.
Yeah.
Playing his gorgeous Custodes list. All the dreadnoughts. It was one of those lists where which you look at and it's like, how the hell does this work? Why does this guy wins games at all?
Yeah.
But you
So
know
it's
that
just so it's just dreadnoughts,
almost.
and then it's a 3 custodians, I think.
It is.
Couple of heroes.
Let's see. It was a Captain and Terminator armor, another Captain and Terminator armor, 3 units of Custodes, which all had 1 spear guy and 2 shield guys. Then it's all the ridiculous names. The Achilles Dreadnought, another Achilles Dreadnought, as basically like a close combat knight with a shield. What's vital and important is it was they have a 4-up invul. Then you have 3. Oh no, the Achilles Dreadnought are no, I was wrong. The Achilles Dreadnoughts are the shooty guys. They have like a spear which does like strength 8 minus a lot, and I think minimum 3 damage. Or
Is
something
it like
that.
low amount of shots, or is it lots of shots?
Yeah, it's D3 shots. I think.
Okay, yeah.
And then he had 2 sword and shield dreadnoughts, and he had 1 single Telemon. So thankfully for me, he did not have any of those ridiculously undercosted Caladius graph tanks, which are the worst. But yeah, it was the same mission, same deployment, of course. It was very fun to play Toby. I met him a few times, never actually gotten to play him. Fun fact, I completely stole the bases of my army
Really
from
directly
his.
from him.
Yeah, like literally directly. On Instagram, I was following him, and I was like, "Oh, what's the recipe
recipe for
on
that?
on
Yeah.
your bases?"
Totally not gonna steal it.
Yeah. No, I said I'm totally gonna steal it, but everybody always says that. Nobody actually does it, so
Yeah.
I proudly stole it. But yeah, we were like, well, whatever happens, happens. We're gonna have a very fun game, and we'll see what's
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
What was great? Well, he had first turn, of course, because everyone always got first turn. And it would have made a big difference in this game because he bunched his stuff quite close to each other. I mean, not massively because he doesn't have that many units, but I could have gotten like 3 units with my Death Ray if I would have used it.
Yeah.
If I could have used it, but sadly I couldn't. So he went first. He moved all his stuff up. He shot as many things he could into one of the flyers. Got it down to, I think, 4 wounds. Didn't quite manage to kill it. He advanced many of the dreadnoughts. No, he advanced only the close combat dreadnoughts because he wasn't in range to charge anyway. And the other 3 shooty guys moved up and shot it at the flyer as well. So he rolled quite poorly and he didn't kill it. So I was like, ha ha ha, I've got you now. I was like, well, even though my Tesla doesn't have any AP, weight of dice could kill them. Just needed to.
Everything's got a 2-up save, isn't it?
Everything has 2-up
Yeah.
save, or a 4-up invul,
Yeah.
or a 5-up invul. So, yeah, it was basically weight of dice. That was my whole plan. Turns out that Toby is actually quite a good player, and he knows his shit. So
Yeah.
what he did is, you had 4 objectives in this game: 1 in your own deployment zone, and 2 in the corner zone.
Yeah.
1 in your opponent's
Yeah.
deployment zone. So the Telemon was on his home objective, and he had placed the 2 close combat guys on the other objectives.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I did, like a complete noob, is I moved my scarabs, my lovely scarabs, up into one corner to like get the other objectives. So now
Yeah.
we were equal.
Yeah.
I was like, so all I need to do is kill the other 4+ invul guy, and I'll have a hold more. And he didn't kill anything, so I would also have kill more. So it was a pretty good lead
Solid
right from
plan.
the start. Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Well, 4+ invul saves, that's what goes wrong. And a 6-up feel no pain. So halfway through my shooting turn, shooting everything into the 4-up invul, I was like, shit, this is his plan. This is what he wants. He wants me to shoot these guys.
He set a trap, and I've
He
walked
said,
right in.
Yeah, I'm a moron. There's 3 guys who do more damage and are easier to kill, but I'm not shooting at them because I'm a right and proper moron. So I was looking at it, I was like, and I also misdeployed my destroyers. I should have placed them way more conservatively right in the back and maybe take some pot shots or do whatever. Instead, I had moved them quite near the front. So both of us knew that probably when I moved them in, he would get to kill them afterwards, which was sadly exactly what happened. So after a lot of effort and Imatech doing his mortal wound, I killed a single of the contemptors, which did give me kill more, but didn't free up any of the 2 other objectives. So he got hold more. No, I think we tied because my scarabs did get the objective. But it was a combination of me falling in it for his trap, him rolling very hard fair saves,
Yeah.
and me rolling like ones for my D6 shots and not doing anything.
For the damage or just
No, just the number of
yeah,
shots.
number,
You know,
yeah.
it's one of those the games where you roll a 1 for the number of shots, then you roll a 2 to hit. And you're like,
Yeah.
great, love random number of shots.
Yeah.
But we were having a great laugh, and it was great about it. It was a very close game. I think one of the things that swung the game is he deep struck one of his characters right in the back of my board line. He failed the charge, thankfully, and then I got to shoot him with my Doomsday Arc. I was like, haha, character, 7 wounds even, but you know, I got 20 shots coming your way. I got D6 strength 10 shots as well.
Yeah.
So I shot him with my 20 shots. I did a single wound. I was like, okay, I'll play my stratagem to give me +1 to hit. I rolled 5 shots.
Yeah.
I hit with all of them. I wounded with all of them. He saved 4. And then I rolled a 2 for damage.
No.
So they lived. He lived. But it was just one of the very fun moments in the game.
Yeah.
I think in my second turn, in his second turn, he killed the destroyers. He tied up 1 unit of immortals. Got him more objectives. He assaulted the Doomsday Arc. Didn't kill it, but tied it up, so I had to move, so he couldn't do the high damage shots. And basically just got into position. It was at that moment that he forgot he had another squad of, the third squad of, what are they called? Custodies.
Yeah.
Which could have deep struck, and he didn't do that, and he forgot about him for the entire game. I forgot
Oh,
about
really?
him as well.
The entire
Yeah.
game. Oh,
Literally,
man.
if he would have brought them in, he would
Okay,
have.
having too much fun.
Yeah, well, that was it. Should have probably all the booze I was giving him. But no, so well, he basically had me on the ropes. I was not getting out of my deployment zone. I was
Yeah.
surrounded by 4 dreadnoughts.
Are the dreadnoughts fast?
Yeah, fast enough.
Yeah.
I mean, and because they hit on 2s automatically, they're still accurate.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of attacks, but they have quality attacks.
Yeah.
And whilst I think that they're probably not good enough to kill like hordes of orcs, they are good enough to kill 27 Tesla Immortals.
Yeah.
So I tied all my stuff up. I think in my next turn I didn't manage to kill anything. So I didn't kill the character which deep struck. I left 1 dreadnought on 1 wound. Now that I think about it, it's the story of this entire tournament. 1 other dreadnought on 3 or 4 wounds.
I think you need to start overcommitting to units.
I did. That's
yeah.
I know. I've learned a long time ago that you don't
Yeah.
split shot, don't split fire.
Although, so an amazing story from my game against Clem in the last round. So I had 2 flyers left. Both one had 2 wounds left and one had 3 wounds left.
Mm-hmm.
And Clem was like, right, this little Helverin, gonna split fire.
Ha!
2d3 on that flyer.
Sucker.
2d3 on that flyer. Killed them both.
Really?
Killed them both.
Mm.
It was pretty baller.
Yeah, that's pretty baller. Well, talking about flyers, in his turn, Toby also killed 2 of my flyers. That's why 2 contenders were damaged as much, because 1 blew up. I was like, a couple of my stuff is in here. Also, 2 other dreadnoughts of yours are, 3 of the dreadnoughts are in the blast radius. I was like, the best way to kill these guys is through mortar wounds. So
Yeah.
gonna keep it.
Yeah.
And I did 2 wounds on my own flyer, but then thankfully the Telemon shot him out of the sky, and even if with the 2 wounds, it wouldn't have made a difference. So I was like, good call. So my turn now with his turn 3. Again, he forgets about his deep striking other guys.
Yeah.
He assaults my scarabs with his character. He moves up with his dreadnoughts again. Tags my Doomsday Arc again. That was basically it. He didn't do as much damage as he hoped, because what he did is he almost killed the scarabs in shooting, but he assaulted them anyway. And then, because he assaulted other things as well, I decided to interrupt with my scarabs and do my mortal wound stratagem on him,
Yeah.
which I did, but I didn't do enough wound to kill him, of course.
Left him on 1 wound, I imagine.
I think it was 2 this time,
Yeah.
but it felt like 1 wound.
Yeah.
Lovely model there, though. It was almost a shame to kill it.
Was it a fun army to play against?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Very different. Very
Very
different,
different,
wasn't
but
it?
it
Yeah.
felt
Different
like-
challenge.
It felt like my army should play, basically, because it's way more resilient than I thought.
Yeah.
Even I know, it's yeah. I think it's about the same thing as you know that my mortal wound stratagem is bad, but I like to play against, but you don't know it's that bad unless somebody did it to you. And this is the same. I've never experienced a very good player playing as custodies in such a fun and interesting way. And he was just dumbstruck at how much punishment they could take.
Are they quite high toughness as well? Or is
So-
it more that it's the armor saving the invulnerable saves
No,
that's
it's
the
all
resilience?
toughness 5,
Yeah.
and the dreadnoughts are toughness 7, so it doesn't really affect me because I'm all strength 5 or strength 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what was fun is there was a moment that I used in my turn. I killed his warlord with Imitech with shooting. It was always fun to do. I Veil of Darkness my immortals out, and for some reason I managed to kill, I think, both of the contemptors. I think because they were both severely wounded, so I was pretty pleased with that. But it was still clear that he had the upper hand. So what basically happened now is a cat and mouse game of him trying to kill. He picked Kingslayer, so he had to kill Imitech. So he moved his last dreadnought up to kill Imitech, which he did. And then I used my last CP to make him stand back up again.
Okay, yeah, the resurrection protocols.
Which never works, guys. It has never worked in my life ever. I've always had to use the reroll, and I had no CP left. But I rolled a 4.
Risky play.
Rolled a
We've got it.
4, and I got it. I was like, yes.
And was that on his last turn?
No, it was on
But you had a turn to sort of save him a tap.
Yeah, I had a turn to do save it. So he has to be resurrected outside of combat. So what do we? So I killed that dreadnought, and afterwards there was basically nothing left. So he got a game. He had 2 turns where he tried to kill something, and he just couldn't kill it. Because he also had to be in. There's another person stalking us. Indoctrinator. Thank you for stalking us.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Or
And hello to Crosbyization in the chat, who's just joined.
something about trash talking. We're not trash talking. are
I think we were just talking about Tau broadside lists, definitely.
we? Nah. Are they boring?
I would say 100% boring.
But no, back to almost done with my tiring and boring story about the custodies. So a cat and mouse game. He never managed to kill anything in the last 2 turns, and I probably couldn't either. So I was creeping up on the points, but it probably wasn't enough. So in the end, it was like after his last turn,
Yeah.
it was 24-24. He was on 2 objectives. I was on 2 objectives. I probably couldn't kill anything from him. I was like, well, fucking well gonna try. So I did, and I didn't manage to kill anything. But I did manage to kill 2 guys from his 3-guy unit, and he put wounds on the one guy
The wrong
on the
guy.
objective, and he had to pull him, so he wasn't on the objective anymore. So I held more, and I won with 1.
1 point win.
1 point win.
Nice.
It was 25-24 to me, and it was such a great game. And I mean, Toby, if you're listening, yes, you would have definitely won this if you just managed to remember your deep striking custodian guard. Definitely. And I was so amazed, and I'm quite inspired. I'm like, I mean, I've got a Tau army in boxes. I think I'm going to sell it all and get some Fortune World custody shit. It was so beautiful. And
You know the custodian models that I love the most, that I'd love to see Toby paint, is the guys that have like the big guns.
Yeah, but they suck.
Massive guns. But they look badass.
Yeah, they
They
do.
look so badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would. Yeah, I would love that. And the fun thing about it is as well. I mean, Toby's army is like 9. It's less than 20
Yeah.
models.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
kind of it's a
I think it's
similar
70
it's a
models.
similar draw to playing a knight army, I guess, because it's low model
But
count,
better.
but better and more
Better.
fun.
More fun in every way.
more skill involved.
Yeah. So no, Tom, we're not buying a Caladius.
No.
Those things are just
They're gonna get nerfed
terribly
into
nerfed.
the floor soon.
They're going to be
Hopefully.
300 points and terrible.
Oh, hello, Loki ass.
Ha! Oh, hope you saw the recap from from the game we did earlier.
Yeah, well, you can watch it back if.
Oh, you
if
can
not.
watch it back. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that was the end of the event. So where did you
It was.
place?
I placed 20th,
20th.
which was
Pleased with that?
No. If I'm
you-
honest, I really wanted to win this
You
one,
really wanted
and
to do well.
I thought I could.
Yeah.
It's probably good to be like put back both feet on like on
Humbled.
the floor. Yeah, to be
Humbled.
and no, but I felt I had a shot. But what didn't turn out the way. I had some great games. What was really fun though is there were 3 Necron guys,
Yeah.
and as you do in events like this, you're
You want
both,
to get the.
you're like comrades in arms, but you're also rivals because
Yeah.
there's one best infection trophy.
Yeah.
And it's mine, motherfucker. But sadly for me, there were two other Necron players, and they both went 4-1.
I know.
They
Shocked us all.
Yeah.
You got
Like,
all your Necron players doing really well.
One got 11th and the other got 13th, I think, if I remember correctly. And the top placing guy, Stuart Headley, I think his name is, he also won Best Painted. So it was a brilliant non-metallic metal army.
Yeah. Incredible conversions as well.
Yeah,
Fantastic army.
conversions.
Yeah.
So instead of winning a tournament, as I had hoped, or at least placing well, I got worse Necron.
But top third, still pretty good. Yeah.
It's good enough. Got some ITC points out of it. Happy.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
better than Chris Froston now. It's always good.
Nice.
That's fired,
nice.
Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. And I finished 32nd, which was 2 places below Scrivo, to my embarrassment.
Yeah.
Although
was embarrassed for you.
I did have a better strength of schedule, so I had a tougher run. That's the line that I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what you should do.
So third was Simon Pridis with his Tau. He had a semi-boring Tau list. He had 6 broadsides and a riptide.
Yeah, but he, as far as our armies goes,
Yeah.
he did semi-creative things.
Yeah,
I mean, his
yeah.
piranhas are all
Yeah,
amazing.
Piranha's really good. And then secondly was Bethany Taylor. She had a Cabal of the Black Heart, so Drakari army, with there's lots of Cabalites, some Venoms, Ravagers, and
Yeah,
lots
she
of
did
flyers.
very well.
5 flyers.
Her only loss was against Alex as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, still got quite a lot of points, so scored pretty heavily, yeah. But with 5 straight wins was Jay Middlecoat of Mohawk Miniatures. And he basically had a
Night list.
Knights list. Yeah, so we had Omega, two Helverins, and then 3 Crusaders with Gatling cannons and thermal cannons. House Crast with Headsman's Mark in there.
Obviously.
So it's just solid list against everything, basically.
I mean, I didn't see it, but there's a great story about his final game, though. He was playing Simon in his last game. I've already told you this, but maybe people at home don't know.
Yeah.
What happened is that he managed to assault Simon's army, who was cowering behind a wall, so not a lot of Overwatch. He assaulted it with one of his knights, so did some damage, cool. Simon retreated out of combat, killed it. He rolled a 6 on his explosion, rolled double 6 on the range, and basically killed the entire army. I think the game was over in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not... If that was intentional, that's actually quite a cool tactic against that style list. Because
I'm not sure if you use it. I mean, you can use a stratagem to make it go
yeah,
boom on
and
a
that's
4,
what
right?
that's what I'm just thinking. Like, you could intentionally play for that.
I don't think he did that, but I'm not sure.
No,
Does
perhaps
Tom know?
perhaps not. It was just...
It wasn't intentional. Tom says it wasn't intentional. He had no
had no
CP.
CP. But like I'm just saying, like
amazing.
that could actually be quite a cool play
It is.
against that type of
Yep.
blob tau list. Like you could.
Have you ever? I mean, I've seen people try to do it.
Yeah.
It has never worked,
Mm.
in my experience. Because there's too many variables. Because you need to roll the 4-up to explode,
Yeah.
and then you probably need to re-roll to explode, and then you need to
The rate you could get a
range.
small radius. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you could still not roll as hot on your
Yeah.
on your D6
Yeah.
mortal wounds.
Yeah. But it's cool it worked in that situation.
Scriffle says he flew his damaged planes into people for potential explodes.
Yeah.
And it's probably the right thing to do. And
Yeah.
as I said, against Toby, I also had one explosion, and it was pretty good. It's also funny. The last big tournament I went to in Denmark, I played a great chap, and we literally had every vehicle explode. The entire game,
Really?
even the Psyker exploded, which was amazing.
Just explosions all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
All right. So overall, event was a big hit.
Yeah,
Success.
that was great. Yeah,
Yeah. Loads of fun.
definitely. The next Hellstorm event is in October.
I think they've got a 1-dayer. I think they've got
yeah,
a
it's a
1-dayer in
one-dayer in
September,
September.
and then they've got a 2-day in September.
October.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you go?
I'm not sure. I might go to the 1-dayer, but I'm not sure about the 2-dayer. Potentially, depends what else I got on.
Different responsibilities.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going either, sadly, because 1-day, I mean, coming over from Amsterdam is just not doable for 1 day.
No.
And the 2-day, I mean, I'd love to go, but I've got another event in Germany organized by the Alliance Open.
International Man of Warhammer.
Tried to be,
Yeah.
yeah. International Man of Mystery or
Yeah,
Warhammer.
yeah.
Don't know which is better. No, but my friends at Alliance Open are organizing an event in Bremen, which there's still tickets for if you guys want to go. I think still available on their website. Don't know where they did that. Yeah, I think it's like 2 weeks before this event, and yeah, 2 weeks away from home playing Warhammer in 1 month is kind of a lot,
Yeah.
even for me.
Yeah. You need a lot of wife or girlfriend points to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think that concludes our Hellstorm review. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to, Dick, before we head off?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Scribble says the Alliance guys are lovely. They really are.
Well, I hope to find out when I travel over to Amsterdam in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
November, that is. Yeah.
Yeah, the end of November, big 150 people tournament in Amsterdam. It's going to be great. Sadly, for everybody listening, it's already sold out. So if you want to experience what it's
Yeah.
like, just a little taste, go to the website. I think it's alliancearmory.net.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get tickets for the Bremen event. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, and if you do, we'll both be there, so that'd be awesome. So thank you to everybody who's been watching on Twitch today. Thank you to all our Patreons, and thank you to anyone who's been watching or listening to the show.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking out with us.
Yeah, and I'd like to say thank you to Dick for being a special guest today.
Yeah, great to be on.
Yeah, no, pleasure to have you on.
One thing off the bucket list, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so thank you very much, everybody. I'm just going to stop everything. So, yeah, see you later.
See you later, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.